Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, we're going to talk about naming your store, all right? First thing I want to talk about is what to not use in your store name, all right? What words not to use. And those are words like deals, gadgets, things that sound like it's a cheap store, all right? Um, in the past or maybe now, sometimes you see different stores, or usually drop shipping stores, that have deals or gadgets or mart or whatever it is in their store name, and it just makes it look super cheap, tacky, and it doesn't, like, when you see those types of stores, you right away feel like it's not like a real brand, or store, so we want to stay away from those words in our store name. Now, when you're creating your store name, remember, you want to start out with a general store, especially if you're just starting out with drop shipping, right? You don't have a brand or anything like that. Now, you want to think of unique generic names to name your general store, right? So, think about general stores that we have now, just even stores that you actually walk into, for example, like Target or, Macy's or Nordstrom or, Spencer's, Zumiez. Like, there's so many different store names that are like just general store names. And those are that's the type of name that you want for your store, right? You're not going to sell different types of products on your store and have a store name with the word pet in it, right? Or fishing, or something very specific. So think about generic names. You can use a business name generator to get ideas. Go to google.com and just type in business name generator, and there's a bunch of free ones where you could basically just type in a word, like, say, for example, you wanted to name your store with something that had to do maybe with the first street that you lived on growing up as a kid, right? You would type that street name in, and it'd come up with different names, mixing and matching different words together, and maybe something will pop in your head. All right. So that's what, I would definitely recommend when you're naming your store. Now let's talk about how to check if the name that you have chosen is trademarked, and what to do and what steps to take. All right. So once you have your name, already picked out, you want to go to uspto.gov. You want to go to trademarks and click searching trademarks and search our trademark database, and go ahead and click basic word mark search. Type in your brand name and click submit query. And if there's no trademark, this is the message that will come up. All right. Now I'm just going to put in a brand here that we know, is trademarked. I typed in Gucci, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right. So as you could see here, there's different, Gucci, trademarks or whatnot, and they have different registrations and stuff like that. But if you see the name here and it says live, that means that it's trademarked. If it says dead, that means the trademark was alive at one time and they didn't renew it, and so now it's dead and it's up for grabs, right? So if your name says live and trademarked, and there's a registration number, that means that it's a registered trademark. Okay. If it just says live and it says the name of the brand here and there's no registration number, that means it's in the process of getting trademarked, but it hasn't gone through the registration process. The application was submitted. All right. So a couple of things. If you type in your brand name here and you notice that, okay, the brand name says live here, but it's not registered, you could still use that brand name. All right. If it's registered, it depends. If you're using the brand name for something that is similar, so say, for example, you wanted to use the name Gucci, but you also wanted to create a clothing brand, then I would not recommend it. Okay. or if it's a big brand like this. Even, you know, Gucci has many different product lines, so I wouldn't even try to compete and get a trademark with them, right? But if you see like a one-off here, and you know, you notice that, you know, the name of the brand, say they sell, I don't know, say they sell like cat food, right? And you want them to use the brand name to sell sports gear, you could still use that brand name because there's quite a big distinction between that. And I don't want to get too much into detail into, you know, trademarking and stuff like that, because I'm not a trademark attorney and I can't legally advise you. So if you have any questions when you type in, you know, your name, you know, we could look at it. But if you have any in-depth questions, then I would recommend contacting a trademark attorney and going from there. All right. But, you know, like I said, try to pick a unique name and you won't most likely get into a situation where you'll see a bunch of records like this, you know, and get confused. And if you do, try to come up maybe with a new name just to keep things simple. That way you don't have to, you know, stress out about it or end up contacting a trademark attorney and stuff like that. Once you have your name already also, you know, established, you want to get your domain. All right. So to do that, head over to GoDaddy.com. I prefer GoDaddy because they have excellent customer service and also it's easy to connect to Shopify. All right. So what you want to do is you want to type in your store name or in here. So basically, you know, say we're going to do Pen Trooper again. You know, I don't know how I came up with that name. I'm just, just came to my mind. So, so we could see here, you know, pentrooper.com is available, so I can get it for $1 a month. So say this was your domain, you know, you want to add it to your cart, purchase it, and then in later videos, I'll show you how to connect it to Shopify. So you always want to go for a .com, all right? So if the .com is not available, then you want to start getting creative. So say for example, you wanted to name your store. This is just an example, luxury home. All right, it's taken, right? So you can't get that domain. You don't want to go and pick, you know, a .online, .store, .biz, .tech. You don't want to do any of that. So you want to get creative, right? So if I put luxury home shop, maybe that's available. Okay, it's too expensive, so you don't want to do that, right? Luxury home store. Let's try that. It's too expensive. All right, now let's try Luxury Home Co., which stands for company. It's available, so you know you can go ahead and get that and move on, and you know, move on from there. Now the easiest way to get your logo created once you have your name already is you want to go to Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com has many different services, you know, graphic design, digital marketing, etc. But I usually just use it for logo creation. So, you know, you could type in here logo and click search, and it'll come up with a bunch of different, you know, designers that can design your logo, ranging from $10 all the way up to, you know, $100. Now, you want to keep your logo super simple, all right? For example, like this logo here where it says Alliance Settlement, like that's super simple, looks professional. You know, that's the type of logo you want. You don't want something that's crazy, you know, colors and, you know, all that stuff. You want something that is simple, professional, straight to the point, and just eye-catching. So, you know, look for different, you know, designers here, and then, you know, go ahead and pick who you want to go with. A lot of times, you know, they'll offer, you know, different amount of logos. Like you'll get 5 different types of logos for like $30 or, you know, $50 or whatever. So pick who you want and, you know, go from there, as long as, you know, they have simple logos, you know, easy to read. Like something like this, you know, that's definitely not something that I would put on my store. It just looks very tacky, very like kiddie, you know. So that's something that I would not, you know, put on my store. All these here, you know, like wellness here, that this top art looks super professional. You know, like I said, keep it simple, basic colors, you know, and go from there. All right. That's pretty much it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.